Okay, I had a pretty good test here. I put in 120 volts AC. I just cranked the variac full, so there's no question about the voltage. It's 120 volts. I measured it too. And it's times 0.256 amps is equal to 30.72. And I figured a power factor of 0.83 for the phase angle. And so the input is 25.49, while the output is 38.6 watts out. And I figured that because across the 378 ohm resistor is 120.8 volts. And you square that, times it by itself, divide by the resistance, 378 ohms, and you get 38.6. And I also have a 10 UF cap in series to the primary of the transformer. And that boosted the power. It might be a better size, but so far it's pretty good. So I'm going to put it on pause and show you everything that I just said. So you might want to believe me this time at least. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to crank this on full blast. So it's just like plugging into the grid right now. There's 120 volts coming out of there. When I did this before, this is not the voltage across the variac. This is the voltage across the resistor. And I did this like a few minutes ago, and it was 120.8. But we'll just keep what I had. And here's the resistor, 378 ohms. So that's pretty good. I'm getting the same voltage across a resistor as what's going into the bit. Here's that 10 UF capacitor in series to the primary. Now, let's look at the phase angle. Here's the voltage. I have the probe on times 10. And here we bring down the looks like one space, a little bit more than one space. I'd say it's 1.25. But let's just go a little bit conservative, just say it's one space. Now, one AC cycle here comes to 11 spaces from beginning to end. That's 360 degrees. 360 degrees divided by 11 is 32.7. So let's call this a 33-degree phase shift. Might be a little more. So if it's a little more, that's good, but right now let's just call it that, 33 degrees, and that's 0.83 power factor. Look it up. So what have I got covered here? Okay, so here's the input. We know that is the input of volts. Oh, let's do the amps. Okay, the amps is 0.256 amps. And here's the, pull it down here. I'm saying it's 7.25 spaces. A little more than 7 spaces. Not 8. Not exactly 7. Could say 7 now. I'd say it's 7 right now, but that's okay. I put down 7.25. So it's actually a little bit less amps than what I'm saying, but that's okay. So for the input, 7.25 spaces vertical. It's in the 0.05 setting. So every space, every one of those spaces, there's 5 inside a square division, is worth 32.7 degrees, because 360 divided by 11 is that number, 32.7. So, and there's one space for sure of a phase angle. So I'm going to say the phase angle is 33 degrees, and you look it up and it's 0.83 cosine, and that's what the power factor is going to be. So 7.25 times 4 is that, divided by 2 is that. That times 0.707 to make it RMS is that. And there's a current shut of 0.1. So there's your amps. And that's what it looks like on the scope with a 0.05 square division. So no arguments here. And the resistor, of course, is getting super hot. And so that's not too bad. When I made this, I wound with pretty thin wire, 25 gauge, and there's 16 parallel wires, 23 feet in length, and it came to 12 ohms worth of winds on there. Something like 360 feet, I think. Pretty long length. Whatever 16 times 23 is. That's how long all this wire is after I hooked all the ends up series 8ing for highest impedance. And so I did that on purpose so I could just run this right off the grid. I wanted to be able to plug this into your wall. And so that's what I'm doing right now. Pretty much just plugged into the wall. And it's got 38.6 watts out, 25.49 watts in. So that's how many watts? That's like 13 watts from out of nowhere, free energy, something like that. So I did a lot of tests. Look at this. This is 3 days ago. And I was getting pretty frustrated, but this is good. This is what I want to see. I'd like it to be like a lot more over unity, but this is pretty good. Now, these shunt bar winds, I think I made them too wide I'm going to probably take them off and make them not so wide. Maybe wrap them around here, like through here, and then around the corner, and then maybe stop right there. Don't extend them here, because you want these separate, because the back EMF goes this way, and the back EMF goes this way, comes in the middle, and the coil sees, it's just, coil goes, there's, you know, it's being canceled out more or less going through. But if you have it here, the coil will have a definite north and a south to it as it shoots by. So you can make some juice out of these. So, okay, well, thanks for watching.